What's up, guys? So, today I'm gonna read you a story. So, it's gonna be Blood Million. Look, I'm gonna keep a bug pitch. I'm stealing this idea, dude. I'm stealing the ideas. And besides, I think it would be a nice idea with, I think it would be a nice little, fits the channel kind of. Because I just like to do, narrating, stuff like that. So, yeah, it is what it is. So, yeah, that's the intro, I guess. This is maybe gonna be edited, maybe not. So, yeah, let's get into this. Life is shot to actors the red green Dutch Holden, Nafri Toven, burning the hotel escape. Chapter 1. See, the child, he is a pale and thin. He wears a thin and ragged linen shirt. He strokes the skulkly fire. Outside lie dark turned fields with rags of snow and darker woods. Beyond the harbor yet a few last wolves. His folks are known for hewers of, of wood and drawers of water, but in truth his father has been a schoolmaster. He lies and drink, yeah, he lies and drink. He quotes from a poet whose names are now lost. The boy crouches by the fire and watches him. Night of your birth, 33, the Leonids, they were called, they were called. God, how the stars did fall. I looked for the blackness holes in the heavens, the dipper stove. The mother died these 14 years, did incubate in her own bosom. The creature who would carry her off, the father never speaks her name. The child does not know. He has a sister in this world they'll not see again. He watches pale and unwashed. He can neither read nor write, and in broods only a taste of mindless violence. All history present in that vestige. The child, the father of a man. At 14, he runs away. He will not see again the freezing kitchen house in the pre-dawn dark. The wood, the wash spots he wanders west as far as Memphis, a solitary migrant upon that flat and pastoral landscape. Blacks in the fields, lank and stooped, the fingers spider-like among the boils of cotton, a shadowed agony in the garden, against the sun declining figures, moving in the slow dusk across a paper skyline, a lone, dark husbandman pursuing maul and harrow down the rain-blue bottomland towards night. A year later, he's in St. Louis. He's taken on for New Orleans aboard a flatboat, 42 days on the river. At night, the steamboats hoot and trudge past through the black waters all light, like cities adrift. They break up the float and sell the lumber. He walks in the streets and hears tongues he has not heard before. He lives in a room above the courtyard, behind a tavern. He be- and he comes down at night, like some fairy book beast, to fight with the sailors. He is not big, but he has big wrists, big hands. His shoulders are set close. The child's face is curiously untouched behind the scars. The eyes oddly innocent. They fight with fists and feet, with bottles or knives. All races, all breeds. Men whose speech sounds like grunting of apes. Men from a, men from lands so far and queer, queer that standing over them, whether they lie bleeding in mud, he feels mankind itself vindicated. On a certain night, a Maltese boatswain shoots him in the back with a small pistol, swinging to deal with a man. He is shot again, just below the heart. The man flees and he leans against the bar, with blood running out of his shirt. The others look away After a while, he shits on the floor. He lies in a cot in the room upstairs for 2 weeks, while the tavern keeper's wife attends him. She brings his meals, she carries out his slops. A hard-looking woman with a wiry body like a man's. By the time he is mended, he has no money to pay her, and he leaves in the night and sleeps on the riverbank until he can find a boat that will take him on. The boat is going to Texas. Only now is the child finally decepted of all that he has been. His origins are becoming remote, as is his destiny. And not again, and all the world's turning will be there. Be terrain so wild and barbarous to try whether the stuff of creation may be shaped to man's will, or whether his own heart is not another kind of clay. The passages are a different lot, that cage the eyes, and no man asks another what it is. What is that brings him here? He sleeps on the deck, a pilgrim among others. He watches the dim shore rise and fall, gray seabirds gawking, flights of pelicans coastwise above the gray swells. They disembark aboard a lighter, settlers with the cattle, all studying the low coastline, the thinned bright of sand and scrub pine swimming in the haze. He walks through the narrow streets of the port. The air smells of salt and new sawn lumber. At night, whores call to him from a dark like souls in want. A week and he is on the move again, a few dollars in his purse that he earned, walking the sand roads of the southern night alone, his hands balled in the cotton pockets of his cheap coat. Earthen causeways across the marsh and ergots, and the wickeries white as candles among the moss. The wind has a raw edge to it, and leaves lope by the roadside, and working for days, wages and found. He sees a parasite hanged in the crossroad hamlet, and the man's friends run forward and pull his legs, and he hangs dead from his rope, while urine darkens his trousers. He works in a sawmill. He works in a defied pest house. He takes as pay from a farmer an aged mule, and back this animal in the spring of the year 1849. He rides up through the mighty Republic of Fredonia into the town of Nichigals, where Verst Green had been playing to a full house daily, as long as the rain had been falling, and the rain had been falling for 2 weeks, when the kid ducked into Reddy Cabin's tent. There was standing room along the walls, a place or two, in such a heady wreck of wet and bathless, that they themselves would sally forth onto the downpour, now and again, for fresh air before rain dove them in again. He stood with others of his kind along the back wall, the only thing that might have distinguished him in the crowd that he was not armed. Neighbors said the Reverend he couldn't stay out of this here holes, right here in Montreal's. I said to him, "You gonna take that son of God with thee?" And said, "Oh no, no I ain't." And I said, "Don't you know what you said, I'll follow ye always even onto the end of the road?" "Well," he said, "I ain't asking nobody to go nowheres." And I said, "Neighbor, you don't need to ask. He's going to be there with ye every step of the way, either ye ask it or ye don't." I said, "Neighbor, you cannot get shed of him. Now, are you going to drag him into that hellhole yonder? You ever see a place for rain?" The kid has been watching the Reverend. He turned to the man who spoke. He wore long mustaches after the fashion of tea masters, and he wore a wood brim hat with a low crown. He slightly bridled and his eyes watching the kid innocently, as if he knew his opinion about rain. "I just got here," said the kid. "Well, it beats all I ever seen." The kid nodded. An enormous man, dressed in oilcloth slicker, had entered the tent and removed his hat. He was bald as a stone, and he had no trace of beard, and he had no boils to his eyes, no lashes to them. He was close onto 7 feet in height, and he stood smoking a cigar, even in his nomadic house of God, and he seemed to have removed his hat only to chase the rain from for now he put it on again. The reverend had stopped his sermon altogether. There was no sound in the tent. All watched the man as he adjusted his hat and pushed his way forward as far as the cardboard portraits where the reverend stood. There he turned to address the reverend congregation, his face stern and strangely childlike. His hands were small, yet unloved. "Ladies and gentlemen, I feel it is my duty to inform you that the man holding this revival is an impostor. He holds no paper of divinity from any institution recognized or improvised. He is altogether devoid of the least qualifications to the office. He has usurped and only committed a memory few patches from a good book for the purpose of lending to his fraudulent sermons some faint flavor of pity he despised in truth. The gentleman stood here before posing as a minister of the Lord, is not totally illiterate, but is also wanted in law in the state of Tennessee, Kentucky, Mississippi, and Arkansas." Okay.